What's going on, y'all? Welcome or welcome back. For those new to the channel, my name is tashombeearl, and this is Tash Talks Tech, the channel where we discuss all things tech. Now, I wasn't gonna do it. I really wasn't gonna do this, but I did it. I bought the iPhone 14 Pro Max in the deep purple, just because it was the thing to do. I guess I don't know, but you might be asking me, why? Why would I buy this phone? I had the 13 Pro Max. Look, honestly, I'm just an Apple fanboy. I'm an Apple fanboy. I'm investing in the Apple ecosystem, and I figured it was the best thing to do. It was everywhere you turn, everywhere I look, YouTube, TV, Apple iPhone 14. So I did it, and for me, I'm an Apple fanboy and I'm a Sony fanboy. Those two come together like peanut butter and jelly. Those two come together like butt cheeks. And so you might like something different. You might like Samsung. You might like Samsung and Dell. You might like Samsung and Asus or Motorola and Asus. Those are your butt cheeks, okay? But these is my butt cheeks. Oh, I can't say that. I'm not allowed to say butt cheeks. So we're gonna scrap that, right? No. Oh no. Oh, okay. Oh. So anyway, I bought the iPhone 14 Plus Max. So I'm in the ecosystem, I'm with it. Let's go. So let's talk about this thing. So I'm gonna be honest with you. For those watching this, you just want to get my honest review of it. I don't see much of a difference between this phone and the 13 Pro Max. I do like that little island thing, but that's really the only thing I noticed it was different. But luckily, I got the little specs here. So the iPhone 14, um, the Pro version. So they have a Pro version, and then they have the regular iPhone 14. We just gonna go with the Pro version. It comes in, what's that? 5 colors: space black, silver. No, 4 colors. I'm sorry. Space black, silver, gold, and deep purple. Deep purple is a new color that they came out with this year, and I'm not gonna lie, I like it. I like it because it's not like a feminine purple, but it's unisex really. um, so I like the color they came out with. Now this phone comes in a 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte is a good look, but these phones aren't cheap. So I ended up with the 256 because they ran out of the 128. I really didn't want to, because I mean, using the iCloud, you can really store a lot of stuff on there, but I noticed with my 128, as it was filling up, my phone was slowing down and acting funny. So we'll give it a try. So it has a 6.7-inch screen. I like the display. I have big hands and it works. It works for me. So if you got big hands, it's generally something that you will go with. All right, so the little island thing is called the dynamic island. Um, I like the always on display, so it has an always on display. I really like it because you just look at it, glance, get the time. I have some widgets on mine, so like my date, a calendar, my how much I move or whatever. So it counts your steps or whatever. And so I have that, but you can choose different widgets that you want to make on your, or different widgets that you want to put on your display. So that's all based on you. ProMotion technology with adaptive refresh rates up to 120. So that's pretty cool for gamers or whatever looking to play games on the phone. I don't play games on the phone. Well, the games I play are real slow pace. So it ain't like I'm looking for like a racing game where you need the or what is that, Call of Duty or whatever. I don't know if they got those on here, but I don't do all that. HDR display, true tone color, wide color, haptic touch, 2 million to 1 contrast ratio, 1,000 nits max brightness typical, 1,600 nits peak brightness HDR, and 2,000 nits peak brightness outdoor. And I will say, I have gone outside on a sunny day and was able to look at that screen, came through flawlessly. And that's something different from the iPhone 13 Pro Max. There would be times when I couldn't see my display. So, not saying this is enough to buy the phone, but it did come through with that. Fingerprint resistant, oleophobic coating, and yeah, we don't got no fingerprints, so I'll give them that. Usually, it's fingerprints all over the back of this bad boy. Not this phone, but the other iPhones I've had. But I generally have a case on it, so and most people generally do. So I mean, that ain't even a thing. Support for the display of multiple languages and characters simultaneously, which I believe all iPhones are like that. Splash water and dust resistant. So rated at IP68, maximum depth of 6 meters for up to 30 minutes. It uses the A16 Bionic chip, 6-core CPU with 2 performance and 4 efficiency cores, 5-core GPU, 16-core neural engine. So, to me, I think these are all specs that are relevant to your average iPhone user. So, let me stick with the ones that are relevant. All right, so pro camera system. Now, I'm a photographer, and this isn't a pro camera system. I got a pro camera. I don't want to feel bad for spending all this money on my pro cameras when they got phones that can do better. But anyway, this phone, it does good. It does a good job, but it's not a pro camera. Anyway, 48 megapixel main camera, 24 millimeter 1.78 aperture, second generation sensor shift, optical image stabilization, 7-element lens, 100% focus pixels. Sorry. Um, 48 megapixels. That's good. All of these. This sounds good, but again, I don't feel that a picture from a phone can compare with a picture from a camera. Like I said, I'm with the Sony game, and it ain't messing with my A7 IV. 12 megapixel wide angle or ultra wide lens, 13 millimeter f2.2 aperture with an 120 degrees field of view. That's decent. That's very decent. 6-element lens, 12 megapixel, 2 times telephoto, enabled by a quad pixel sensor. You know, all good. 12 megapixel, 3 times telephoto, 77 millimeter, 3 times optical zoom in, 2 times optical zoom out, 6 times optical zoom range, digital zoom, all good. Sapphire crystal lens cover, that's really good because you don't want your lens to break. I knew somebody whose lens broke on their iPhone. Not the 14, but I want to say it was the 12. So, not a good look. Adaptive True Tone flash, um, photonic engine. Don't know what that is. Deep Fusion, Smart HDR4, all good things. So basically, the camera system is pretty good. I mean, for a camera phone. Now, video recording. This is really good. 4K video recording at 24 frames per second, 25 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 60. So that's really good actually for a phone. At 1080, you can shoot at 25, 30, and 60 frames per second. At 720, you can shoot at 30 frames per second. Cinematic mode, which I've seen on other YouTube channels, it looks very decent, and the stabilization is very nice. So you have cinematic mode, and it's up to 4K HDR at 30 frames per second. Action mode is, I believe, it's cropped in a little bit, so it's almost gimbal-like when you're shooting on action mode, and you can shoot up to 2.8K at 60 frames per second. Which the 60 frames per second is good if you're trying to add some slow mo to it. HDR video recording with Dolby Vision up to 4K, up to 4K at 60 frames per second. ProRes video recording up to 4K at 30 frames per second. Macro video recording. Now the macro on this camera is very good if you're looking at taking some pictures from a real close up on something. Really good, really good. Let's see what else. Time lapse video, night mode time lapse, quick take video. Yeah, all good, all good. True depth camera, Face ID, Apple Pay. Use your phone for Apple Pay. It works, I know. But anyway, so out of all those specs, there's not much that I really use that is specific to an iPhone 14 Pro Max, besides that little island. So if you're looking to buy a phone, a new iPhone, if you have one of the older iPhones, I would suggest it. But if you have a 13, I wouldn't. I wouldn't upgrade unless you just want the new. You want that the latest and greatest, just to be on top of whatever technology is out there. Then I would go for it. The battery life is really good actually on this phone compared to the 13 Pro Max. I found myself I found myself in a situation where I wasn't able to charge it for over a day, and it was still good to go. It was still good to go, and that shocked me because usually after a day, I would say, and generally I put my phone on a charger every night. So, but after a day, it's needing to be charged. But this time I went like almost 2 days on one charge. So I'll give it that. But yeah, the phone is nice. Last year's phone was nice, so I feel bad because I sit there and I look at the new phones and I'll be like, I ain't buying that. I ain't buying that phone. Nope, it's just like the one I got right now. I ain't buying it. And then I end up buying it. Somehow I end up walking into T-Mobile and coming out with a new phone. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you at the next video. All right.